Chandran Ashwin with an absolute peach to the left-handed Alistair Cook. The off-spinner tosses up a perfectly pitched delivery that drifts in with the arm and then turns away to beat the outside of Cook's bat straight into the stumps. An off-spinner castling Bumrah and Yorkers are a love story for the ages. A death-over specialist in the shorter format of the game, Bumrah brought his bag of tricks in this test match against Australia. Here he sends Shaun Marsh fishing with a perfect slower ball Yorker on the very last ball of the session and ends up trapping him LBW. Marsh must have been really looking forward to lunch considering he was a second too early in playing the ball. Trent Boult sure knows how to swing the ball. We mean really swing the ball. Here he gives us a perfect example of his abilities by bowling the perfect in-swinging delivery to a right-handed Joe Burns. Left arm over the wicket, pitching around off stump and swinging in by a mile. That's a difficult delivery to keep out, especially if it's the first ball you're facing. And we're pretty sure Burns would agree after having his stumps dismantled like that. The modern-day king of swing is an absolute nightmare to face in swinging conditions. And it doesn't help that this man can swing the ball both ways. Here, James Anderson sends Shubman Gill's off-stump for a walk by bowling a beautiful in-swinger. Under usual circumstances, Gill's front foot block would have been enough to keep out any bowler, but the way Anderson bowls, he might have found his way through the pads bowling with a basketball. Ben Stokes takes no prisoners when it comes to cricket, and he made no exception when demolishing the West Indies lower order in a test match. With Shannon Gabriel coming in as the last man, Stokes bowls him an in-swinger from way outside off that just doesn't stop swinging. If the stumps hadn't gotten in the way, the ball might have never stopped swinging. In all fairness, there wasn't much any batsman could do about this, let alone a tail-ender. Mitchell Starc is one man you do not want near your stumps at any time. The man is built like a barn door, and he simply cannot stand the sight of undisturbed stumps, standing peacefully behind the batsman. In this instance, Starc bowls an absolute rocket of a Yorker to Ben Stokes right at the base of off-stump. After getting clean bowled, Stokes proceeds to kick his dropped bat in despair. We feel you, Stokesy, but you would have needed a wall to keep that delivery out. Up next, we have James Anderson doing what James Anderson does best, bowling absolute jaffas to batsmen who are unfortunate enough to face him with the new ball. Here we have Anderson turning New Zealand's Aaron Redmond inside out with a beautiful outswinging delivery, knocking the off-stump clean out of the pitch. Anderson angles the ball in towards the batsman from wide of the crease and then swings it away at the last second, making Redmond pull out dance moves Michael Jackson would have been proud of. In 2018, Adil Rashid produced a moment of leg spin magic reminiscent of the late great Shane Warne himself. Bowling to one of the greatest batsmen of the modern era in Virat Kohli, Rashid tosses up a sublime leg spinner that dips around the leg stump and then turns sharply to beat Kohli's outside edge. The sight of the dislodged off-stump is nothing compared to the look of disbelief on Kohli's face, who seems in absolute awe of the delivery he has just faced. You know you've done something special when you impress the best in the world. Side note, this was the first time Kohli had been clean bowled by a leg spinner in international cricket. 373 innings at that time. At number 7, we have Ryan Rhino Harris cleaning up Alistair Cook on the very first ball during the 2013 14-man's Ashes. Bowling over the wicket to the left-hander, Harris pitches an in-swinging delivery at good length that straightens off the surface and zips past Cook's outstretched bat. The bails are sent flying, and well, so is Cook, straight back to the pavilion. What a way to start the innings. There's nothing a fast bowler loves more than beating a batsman's outside edge to clip the top of off-stump. Pat Cummins did something very similar during the 2019 Ashes against Joe Root. Here he bowls a quick delivery angling into the batter, which then straightens enough to beat the outside of Root's bat and knocks over his off-stump in comprehensive fashion. An unplayable delivery to dismiss one of the best batsmen in the world. Although, if this was Tim Southee, Root might have reverse rammed the same ball for 6. While not the quickest of bowlers, Pakistan's Mohammad Abbas has developed a reputation as a bogeyman of sorts within the English county circuit. His ability to swing and seam the ball both ways more than makes up for his lack of pace, and he showcased his skills during a test match against England by dismissing Ben Stokes with an absolute ripper. Coming in with the angle, the ball pitches at middle stump and seams away, resulting in disturbed furniture and a rattled Ben Stokes. Stokes' impression seems to suggest that there wasn't much he could do about that either. At number 4, we have Adil Rashid yet again, this time castling KL Rahul in yet another instance of Shane Warne-like magic. Bowling to a set KL Rahul on 149, Rashid comes around a wicket and pitches 1/2 a yard outside the leg stump. The ball turns a literal mile and surprises KL Rahul by crashing into his off-stump, no less. He was probably expecting the fine leg fielder to catch this one. Footmarks or not, it takes quite some skill to turn the ball by this much, and even more so to dismiss a world-class batsman in this fashion. Next up, we have Pakistan's very own Shaheen the Eagle Afridi. The left-arm pacer has made a name for himself as a destructive new ball bowler, and it doesn't take much to find out why. During the 2021 ICC Men's T20I World Cup, Shaheen put arch-cricketing rivals India on the back foot by dismissing both their openers in back-to-back overs. Just watch this in-swinging Jaffa to KL Rahul. An over-the-wicket good-length delivery at off-stump, some late in-swing, and the middle stump pegged back. Absolute scenes. One of the biggest legends of the game, and undoubtedly the greatest leg spinner of all time, the late great Shane Warne, is remembered for some of the most magical dismissals in the history of cricket. And we're going to show you why. During the 2005 Ashes in England, Warne bowled a ball to Andrew Strauss. Pitching the ball just near the wide mark, Warne sends a bewildered Strauss for a stroll by bowling him behind his legs. Yep, keep on walking, Andrew, we're as confused as you are. To this day, no one quite understands how Warne was able to turn the ball this much, but much like the rest of his career, Warne produced magic in ways only he knew how. The delivery that takes our number 1 spot is regarded as the undisputed ball of last century. In what would become the most legendary moment in Shane Warne's long and illustrious career, the king of spin delivered a physics-defying leg spinner that sent shockwaves around the cricketing world. Bowling his first ever ball on English soil during the 1993 Ashes, Warne bowls a flighted, drifting leg spinner that dips outside the leg stump to an unwary Mike Gatting. The ball then deviates an astounding 14 degrees to beat Gatting's massive frame, his pads and his bat straight into his off stump. Even the umpire was lost for words. To this day, Mike Gatting admits he has no clue how he could have played that delivery. Rest in peace, Warnie, and